Good morning to all of you here in our sanctuary of Metro East Unitarian Universalist congregation, and greeting to those watching this service from the warmth of their own home and from the future. Those people are smart. This is a welcoming community, and we are so glad you are here. My name is Amy Riedessel. My pronouns are she, her. Vowels are important, and I am happy to see you all here today. Our hymns today are in the gray and teal hymnals and, of course, on the wall. We welcome everyone to this home of comfort, spirit, justice, and hope. And Elmo. We are Unitarian Universalists. Thank you, Joy. As an important ritual in the Unitarian Universalist faith is the lighting of our chalice, which Joy is going to do for us today. Unitarian Universalists have many different interpretations of the flaming chalice, including the light of reason, the warmth of community, and the flame of hope. If you are watching elsewhere and have a chalice or candle, please light it now as we all join in saying the words projected on the screen. Today's lighting is by Jekaren Olaoya. We light this chalice here in the darkness of winter as we wait. This temporary space is one filled with prayers to be answered, love to be given and received, miracles to be witnessed. May this light guide us until the light of the sun returns again.
I'm Eden, your ministerial fellow, and will you join me in a posture and an intention of prayer or meditation? Spirit of hope, gather your angels and light around us today. Help us rest our hearts on fertile ground so what we desire to come to pass can take root. Help us to trust ourselves and one another to do the work of listening, carrying, embodying forth what is already ours to be. Amen and blessed be. Welcome. I invite you to take a moment and greet someone you don't know as well this morning and make a new connection. Then we will begin singing our first hymn projected on the wall or in the gray hymnal, 360. Here we have gathered. I know. Everyone. It's a tradition here at Metro East UU congregation to place our service within the larger values that we as Unitarian Universalists hold dear. This week we lift up the values of pluralism and interdependence. This week I happened to be on a retreat in Connecticut, and at the retreat center, there was a mystical UU who was on a solo retreat, and it was interesting to talk with him and hear about how he loves he's like, people always ask what mysticism is, and as a mystical UU, like, it's the first thing, it's the experience, it's the knowing, it's the transcendence. And so he's like, people are always suspicious of us mystical UUs, and I just really loved that sense of pluralism and being within the midst of others, and finding community, even in my travels to Connecticut. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that little story. And also, the interdependence is also something that we hold dear as a value. And I think as we are coming and knowing our history and remembering again where we come from, I want to maybe stretch this idea of interdependence as we are dependent upon those who came before, and those who come after us are dependent on us. And we depend on each other through time to hold each other through the present, right where we are right now. We are holding both of those polarities. So, and the reading for this week is by Reverend Farley, and from his first sermon on December 7th, 1836, and it was the inaugural service for the congregation. He says, "Do you now ask, what is the true church? I now answer, not the Episcopal Church, not the Presbyterian Church, not the Baptist Church, not the Methodist Church," where he was preaching at, because they were renting at the time, not the Unitarian Church. Oh. Clutches pearls. But the good in all these churches, all who live under the light of nature, or under the more blessed light of revelation, the child of the Gaines, who worships the glorious river and finds healing in its waters. Hear that experience. He who adores the sun in its majesty, he who cries out for the great Father, and whose dying eyes are lit up with hope of hunting again in the spirit land. All are children of God. All are members of the Church Universal, of the vast temple which the broad skies cover and the broad earth sustains, and whose doors are open to the illimitable heaven.
You may or may not have heard, but at the start of Hanukkah, on Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia, 2 gunmen opened fire on a group of Jewish people celebrating Hanukkah. 11 people were killed and 26 were injured. Since Hanukkah is the festival of lights, during our joys and sorrows period, we invite you to take a candle if you are so moved, light it, and place it around the bowl or the rocks. So as part of our weekly worship service, we take the time to acknowledge things that bring us comfort as well as things that bring us concern. For us, home means a place where we can share the things that weigh us down or fill us with joy, and where those we love surround us in good times and in turmoil. If you would like to recognize a joy, sorrow, or milestone, come forward and place a stone or several in the water bowl. I invite you now to come forward on my left, grab a candle if you are so moved. Across the front, choose a stone and place it in the water, a symbol of what you're sharing with us. Then return down the aisle on my right and back to your seat. If you are unable to navigate this for any reason, just raise a hand and someone will place a stone or a candle for you, because in this place we bear one another's burdens and share one another's cares. Let us be in a spirit of prayer and meditation. We now invite everyone to join us here at the front today for today's Time for All Ages. Today's book is Girls on Wheels by Shreya Venkat. After the book, we will sing our children out to RE. Speaker.
Right next to you.
Does it work?
Can we have that up?
Does it work? I think it's on.
It's on. It's on.
Play it, but
Yeah.
pointing the mic at other speakers.
Bad.
Fast.
Better?
I hope so.
Try now.
Okay. So, this week is Girls on Wheels. So, maybe move it.
You may have to move even.
Okay.
We'll just unplug that speaker, of course.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. So, Damini sneaks out early after her chores, careful not to wake anyone. She jumps over and potholes whizzes down the street. Some people gasp, others glare. Damini rides on. Sana glides against the wind. The crisp morning air kisses her cheeks. She stops to share her parthas before disappearing over the bridge. Beyond the bazaar and past the cricket ground is the day she's been waiting for. Anila gazes at the rising sun, then down at her once broken arm. Like the birds in the sky, she longs to fly on her board, to feel the thrill of catching air. But am I ready to skate again? A giant wave of concrete looms like a sea monster. Ooh, scary. But friendly faces make Anila feel right at home. You made it, Sana smiles. We've missed you. Welcome to No Rules Park, Damini says. Anila laughs, her spirits lifted. 3 girls at the skate park, huddling and squealing, glad to be together again. But when the boards roar, only 2 girls soar, whirl, failing, clunk. Yet they're back on their boards. Anila sits alone. Okay. You're not here to sit, Damini reminds her. I don't need another broken bone, Anila mumbles. What if I fall again? Just jump off and run like this, Damini says. Or roll like this, Sana adds. Anila clutches her arm. Some boys swarm in. But you can't do this, says Raj, showing off a perfect drop-in. The girls accept his dare. Damini goes first. Whirl, whoosh, clash. Sana doesn't make it. Whirl, clunk. She goes back. Whirl, whoosh, clack. Whoosh. Anila turns away. Let's see you do it, Raj taunts. The last time Anila tried to drop in, it didn't go so well. But she can't let Damini and Sana down. She can't let herself down. With her heart pounding, she tries. Whirl, thunk. Maybe skateboarding isn't for you, Raj smirks. Sana puts her arm around Anila. Dark clouds circle over Anila. Will I ever get this right, she wonders. But like the cool sea breeze, her friends blow away her doubt. Skating is for anyone who wants to try, Damini tells Raj. If you fall, it's okay to cry, Sana tells Anila. Hey, we made a rhyme, Damini shouts. Anila can't help but laugh. The girls make their way to their favorite spot. The shade of the tree feels as cool as their fast-melting coffee. And Anila's mind is still on one thing. Maybe I'm just not a skateboarder, she says. Of course you are, Damini replies. We'll practice with you, Sana adds. Anila watches the waves, falling and rising. They show her the way. Okay, let's do this, Anila stands tall. With her friends by her side, Anila's heart floats, feeling stronger. She gets face to face with her fears. Whirl, clunk, whirl, thunk. You can do it, her friends tell her. I can do it, she tells herself. Whirl, whoosh, clack. Peals of laughter echo through the skate park. The girls glide low, then high, diving and soaring, constantly flowing, fumbling and stumbling now and then. Plunk, clunk. The boys stop to watch. Raj has no more dares. Aren't you afraid of falling? A little boy asks her. Sometimes, says Anila. But when I'm not falling, I'm flying. 3 girls at the seaside skate park, Damini daring, Sana caring, Anila brave and ready to fly. Here they come. the Girls on Wheels. Yay. Awesome.
Our next hymn is the Hymn of the Month from the Teal Hymnal or On the Wall, 1009, Meditation on Breathing.
We're going to do each verse twice.
Do you remember what it feels like to start something new? First day at a new school, learning to draw or ride a bike. What about starting a marriage, having a child, starting at your job, moving to a second career? What did you expect? What did you hope? How did it turn out? There's sometimes a difference between how we expect something to go and how it actually goes. Sometimes we imagine the worst. Falling off the bike, not finding any friends to sit through lunch with, making terrible art, all the unknowable things about having a child, falling in love with the possibility of falling out of love, starting again, but older this time, in a second career. There takes a certain amount of humility, grace, grit with ourselves and others, and the hope for something to be different. Last week on December 7th, the congregation turned 189 years old. Yay! Yeah, we can clap. That's exciting. We look good for being a decade shy of 200 years. A few months back, I spoke about the ups and downs of the history of the congregation and spoke about how stability comes in the movement and the mission of the church, not necessarily the form it takes. Today's task is reflecting on our beginnings. Olive and her husband, Dr. William Samuel Emerson, settled in Alton around 1831. Olive writes in her letter to her brother back home in Kennebunk, Maine, that she misses singing the songs of her Unitarian congregation back home. I wonder about that longing, about the missing, about the stability of song to come together again to sing. And that missing creates the new beginning. it takes self-empowerment to meet that longing, right? The agency found there, to hope for things to be different, for the material to meet the longing of the heart. So they recruited other transplants from the East to start a church, and others too. Dr. Emerson was the city's first physician and held church in his office to start out. After years of meeting and growing interest, the group called their first minister, Reverend Charles Andrew Farley, an 1832 graduate of Harvard. And on December 7th, 1836, he preached his first sermon, which was the words that we read earlier. And they were renting a Protestant Methodist church, but the congregation was founded. It began. And notice that the church was not started with its own property, but don't want to come on too strong this early, but it was the connection of the like-minded people who wanted to sing and support each other. And everything was great after they started. There was no inconvenient illnesses that led to deaths of prominent members or political unrest or anything like that. So they were just jamming. So I guess that's the end and we can go home. But so less than a year later, Dr. Emerson passes away from an illness, and Olive went back a year or so later to Maine. And Reverend Farley, there was also some political unrest. There was the Presbyterian minister and publisher and abolitionist, Elijah P. Lovejoy, had brought his abolitionist newspaper and free press to views to Alton, arousing conflict and violence on both sides of the question, and mob rule became the law. Lovejoy was murdered on November 7th, 1837, and the social upheaval continued. Reverend Farley apparently tried to remain neutral, but we know what happens when you try to both sides things. And in a sermon he gave on December 31st, 1837, he stated, "Adherents of the conflicting parties are one-sided men. Each is about half right and half wrong, with no sympathy for the agitators, be their principles right or wrong. In claiming the privilege of holding and expressing my own principles in my own way, it seems an act of moral suicide. In the present state of things, to go at all with any party." Yeah, he started out strong and then oh goodness. So Reverend Farley ended up moving back east. Yes. So everything was not well, it did not, seem like it was okay. So the group without their founders dwindled, but still remained. 16 years later, in 1853, they had grown enough to form the first Congregational Reed Unitarian Society and bought a lot where the Catholic Church burned down and rebuilt it and had the sanctuary dedicated in 1855. In the first 20 years of the founding, a majority of those years were spent not looking like much. Some probably didn't like the politics at all. Some probably thought the people who stayed didn't have a sound mind, didn't agree, maybe lacked clarity, didn't want to be a part of something so amorphous in such a liminal time. There's a lot of thoughts that can cause the world to feel bleak and dark. But where is the light? Where is the hope? I wonder about Olive maybe, I wonder if she felt guilty for leaving the church her and her husband started. Maybe it was too much of a reminder of what could have been and would have happened if he had still been around. Olive, remarried and had 2 more children and went on to die in Maine. I wonder if she ever thought about our congregation in Alton and the songs that connected her to her heart's longing that she sang back in Maine. These connections of hope, of randomness, of possibility and synchronicities draw the lines all the way here to create a structure of the soul of the church that we have today. Walter Wink is a Christian theologian prominent in the late 20th century and wrote about the ties between the structure of groups and power and possibility. Wink was struck while reading the letters from John in the book of Revelation in the Christian Bible, because John did not write to the people. He wrote to the angels of the congregation. So he was breaking the tradition. Paul was writing to the congregation when he wrote in his letters in the Christian Testament. This distinction perplexed him, and he begins to map out the responsibilities, like, what is this angel expected to do? What is, why write to the angel of an institution or a church rather than the people? And defines this angel as not as something separate from the congregation, but somehow represents it as a totality. Through the angel, the community seems to step forth as a single collective or entity, a Gestalt. Gestalt is German for boiling, a way of seeing a singular thing, but there's no direct translation. He writes that the angel should be understood as more than a mere personification of the church, but the actual spirituality of the congregation as a single entity. The angel would then exist in, with, and under the material expressions of the church life as its interiority. As the corporate personality or felt sense of the whole, the angel of the church would have no separate existence apart from the people. But the converse would equally be true. The people would have no unity apart from the angel. Angel and people are the inner and outer aspects of the same reality. It's interesting, this way of seeing a people, an institution, a collective. Wink is interested in how John writes to the angel, and holds the angel accountable for the spiritual course of the church, not the congregation itself. Wink isn't concerned with the metaphysics of it. Angels are real or not, but more interested in the function of this belief that it provides. This gives us some room to play. Let me do some translation a little bit for us to have some neutral terms. The angel could also be understood as the mind of this church, the memory of the church, the motivations, the unconscious and the conscious as a non-separate from each other. So my question is this, what does this angels, this mind, this collective have to say of the church here at Alton, at Metro East? Ooh, interesting. And, everything wasn't great when it started. But it remained. It grew. The angel of the church continued to gather, continued to speak to the folks at Alton in the beginning. You know, these connections of randomness and possibility and synchronicities draw the lines all the way to here. To create structures of the soul of this church that we have today. And how might we work with this history, this mind, and these angels? And it's also something to consider when you are working with the angels of your workplace or the local political system, or the national one. If you were to write a message, what would you say? Wink also explores this concept of a demonic or a fallen angel. An angel who creates, who turns its back on the specific tasks before it by God and makes some other goal its idol. So I wonder at this time, through time, the task before us that has always been of hope, of singing together, of the mission. Wink cautions us because though sometimes he talks about how, church growth is a good thing. And when we talk about it, it doesn't have to be a demonic or fallen thing. It can be a healthy thing. And yet, if it replaces the place of the task at hand, there might be more wholeness to be possible. There might be more integrity around something else. He also cautions of hiring a minister who it goes both ways, but who might have done something at another church and it had gone well, but came to the church to be hired to do that thing and keeps doing that thing, but it's not as successful because they hadn't talked with the angel of the church. Wink also shares about a colleague who said, I was trying to change the institution and I kept trying to pick one by one the people and try to change, and it became overwhelming and I eventually had to leave my job because I couldn't do it anymore. But I realized if I would have talked to the angel of the church and sat and seen the landscape, the soul, the wholeness, and started there, that maybe change would have come with the acceptance of what is. Talks about the idea of a wounded angel. He says, if we accept and love the wounded angel, praying for a vision of its potentiality rather than imposing, and engaging with others in the struggle to discern the true nature of its calling, then the whole congregation may move toward it organically. We're at a pivotal time. If we are to understand the angel of the church as going through history, this angel who has known what it feels like to be with a congregation in a property, to rebuild, to build. The angel has also seen the selling, my Georgia coming out, of the selling, the selling of the property. And this angel still continues, just like the beginning, to gather, to see others, to see like-minded folks and say, hey, We might not look like much, and yet we remain. So, I will close with this. I hope to lead us through my own letter to the angel of this congregation. It has a form that Wink lays out. It says who you're addressing from, a description of what's going on, an exhortation, which is trying to persuade, and then a conclusion. So, I may write, Dear Angel of the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Metro East, I am the current ministerial fellow of this congregation and the 40th to hold a role like this in this community. I know this community has gone through many schisms that have not only divided the local church at the time, but the national body. Yet, both have succeeded in their becoming. I sometimes fear that they do not see their own preciousness and believe walls to be where only bridges are to be found. A place where earnest spiritual searching is met by even more earnest fellowship and found community. I wonder if confidence were to find them, might they take more seriously the tenderness and the fearless inquiry they are meant to protect for those in search of a soft landing for weary bones. A protection not found in walls, sealed in deeds and signatures, but one that runs deeper in the root of their bodies, right here where love is found. May those who have perception feel and know. The heart has the answer that the mind seeks. You are beloved and have what it takes to begin again anew. Our next hymn is the hymn, in the gray hymnal, 346. Come sing a song with me.
As we pass around the offering basket, I offer a gentle reminder that our community of faith is supported only by our generosity. However, if this is your first time here, you are not obligated to give anything, as we want this service to be our gift to you. If you donate cash toward your yearly pledge, remember to place it inside a labeled envelope so we are able to count it accurately. Support is more than just financial donations, but is also about donating your time and talents. If you are unable to give money, please help our congregation survive and thrive by helping to set up and break down, which we don't have to do this month. Yay! Volunteer as a worship associate, join the choir, or serve on other committees. Please donate as you can and as you are able. All types of support are needed for our congregation to prosper. Please join me in our offering prayer. May this offering equip us to inspire love and seek justice. Announcements. Our upcoming speakers next week will be Dr. Claudia Hall, live from the internet. And when I say live, I mean taped. And then on 24th, it will be Eden again, and closing out will be John Hurden. And we don't have to break down until January. We do have.
When is the Christmas Eve service? What time?
6 p.m.
It's at 6.
6 p.m. Yeah.
6
If you
p.m.
want to do cookies, let me know.
Yes, talk to Robin for cookie exchange.
Good, awesome.
Yes. We do have one surprise announcement. So every year, the Edwardsville Library Friends will do package wrapping. You can bring one package, you can bring all of your packages and walk away, and they will wrap them for you. Edwardsville Library will be doing it Thursday, December 18th from 4 to 7 p.m. On the Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. On the 21st from 2 to 4 p.m. And at Books A Million on Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 4. You don't have to bring anything except the presents. They don't provide those, but they do like donations if you can manage that. And having done this before, they will say, yes, I want these packages to be from Santa, and these packages not. Or you can say, I want these packages to be in red and blue, or these in green. You can make requests. So that is here. Next slide. There we go. I invite you to recite this prayer by Krista Taves as I extinguish the chalice. It is our word, shared with each other, covenant, that creates and sustains this beloved community. We extinguish this chalice, but its light on in the direction we have chosen today. The light of this faith lives on in us, together, in our hearts, minds, bodies, and spirits. Amen, and blessed be.
As we go on our way, probably conspiring and talking with many angels, many different institutions, may we know where we come from. May we know the wholeness that we hold together. May it shine brightly to be our confidence, to be our mission, to love and to know love. May it be so. Blessed be.
Everyone go home.